Hi there, Nathalie with you today with a new process video for Scrapbook Nerd. And today I'm actually creating the video for one of the challenges of this weekend's online stash busting crop. And this one is actually a fun one. We'll talk about the all the recipe challenge that I'm going to create. One of the prompts is using at least two collections. These are totally different. One is PinkFresh Studio Super Cool, and the other one is Bro & Company from Simple Stories. Another one of the prompts is having multiple pictures. So I've pulled these pictures of my nephew and sized them to 3x3. One is in black and white, one is in color. Now another one of the prompts is using at least 5 pattern papers. So what better way to add all these pattern papers, especially because a lot of them are cut up, is to create a grid. So all I'm doing right now is just cutting squares of papers to fit 3x3, and I've pulled a few from PinkFresh Studio Super Cool. You're gonna see that I've already cut up quite a bit. Same with the Simple Stories Bro & Company, and I'm trying to pull colors that I have in the pictures. So you're gonna see when I pull some blue, a little bit of red, some yellow, green, black and white. So I'm pulling that gray, and even though the papers are totally different collections, once I put them together they're gonna work. So all I'm doing right now is just cutting 3x3 like I said, papers. I'm gonna end up with at least, I'm gonna say 8 different pattern papers, and then I'm gonna put them together. So another one of the prompts is using a pattern paper for a background. So I went into the Super Cool collection, and I really love a very neutral background. I thought about using white, but I thought that I have to bring a little bit of interest. So I found this one that is all white, but it has these little kind of salmony dots, and it's perfect for what I have in mind, especially because it has the lines, so it's gonna help me create the grid easily. So all I'm doing right now is just setting everything in place, and you're gonna see that I've already used 6 of the pattern papers, and there's 2 more, and those I'm gonna use just to back the pictures. I just want to give them a little bit more interest. So you're gonna see that one of them I'm gonna use the teal at the top, and for the bottom one I cut a 3x4 card just because I wanted a little bit of that red. Again, at the top right corner of my squares I had just a grid, and I think that I need to bring something with more interest. I want to combine the colors and the patterns on the page. Also, one of the prompts that you see in the recipe, and it's actually one of the bonuses ones, is adding mixed media to the background. And I'm not gonna add much. I'm just gonna blend a little bit of this is speckled egg distress oxide, and I'm also gonna add a little bit of mermaid lagoon distress oxide just to the areas where the picture is gonna sit. I just want to make sure that I bring the emphasis to those 2 areas, and so I'm just using an ink blending brush, and actually this one is a makeup brush, and just adding a little bit of ink, not much, just enough that it's gonna peek from behind the picture and just cover the area behind the picture. That's it. I'm not gonna cover the entire page. Once I've added my ink, actually I'm just gonna add a little bit of water just to watermark the ink, kind of bleach it a bit, and then once I add the water I'm gonna just lay a piece of paper towel on top of it just to blot the excess water. That's all I'm gonna do for my background, and then you're gonna see here that I just gonna go ahead and start building my grid. Again, remember those 2 pieces of pattern paper that I said I cut 8 pieces of pattern paper. 2 of them are actually gonna back the picture, and I'm just gonna kind of create put them in an offset so just a little piece of it shows. And I'm actually gonna add a little bit of foam adhesive to the pictures, just to the just behind the pictures. I just want to make sure that those are the ones that kind of pop from the page. The rest is pretty much gonna be flat on the layout. So all I'm doing right now is just creating my little I'm gonna say kind of offset frames for the pictures, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna add foam adhesive behind them like I mentioned before, and then I'm gonna attach it onto my layout, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just glue everything in place. And here's where having the paper with the grid with the little grid helped, because it just made everything, like assembling this, so much easier. And I'm gonna make sure that I leave a little line of like a white line in between the squares. Think of it as like a bathroom tile. Just have the little grout line. Same thing here. It's just gonna help with the design. So once I have everything in place, I'm just gonna go ahead and trim the excess, because a few of them, some of the papers are gonna stick out just because I left that line in between. And then I'm gonna cut around 3/4 of an inch from the top of the layout. I just thought that it was really heavy in the bottom, so I'm just gonna lighten a little bit, and by that I'm just cutting 3/4, and then I'm gonna add another piece of paper at the bottom just to balance everything. So now here's where I'm gonna start embellishing, and I'm gonna pull embellishments from both collections. Again, I have just bits and pieces, so you're gonna see that I brought that little pocket that says "You Make Me Smile." That's from Super Cool, and all the stickers actually are from Simple Stories. And here's where another one of the prompts is repeat an embellishment, and I'm gonna use the stars and enamel dots all over the layout. So I'm just continuing working. That frame that says "No Filter" is actually a pattern paper. I just fussy cut the frame, and then I'm mixing embellishments from both collections, and I'm gonna continue working this way through. I'm gonna add embellishments to every single one of the squares. I'm using those little tabs from Simple Stories. I am gonna again bring stars just because that's gonna be one of my repetitive elements. I'm gonna try it, even though I don't like maximizing embellishments. This is gonna be one of those maximize the amount of stuff that I can use, and I use quite a bit. I was shocked at the end how much my embellishments I actually used. So I'm just going through everything in that gray square. I'm gonna add a little bit of green just to balance the bottom right square, and you're gonna see that slowly I'm just going through my stash and just adding, I'm gonna say, as many of the embellishments as I could. And I'm also want to make sure that I balance everything. So for example, when I created the little clusters on the top right and left, I wanted to make sure that they didn't stick outside of the page, just because I already have the ones in the center coming off the little grid. So just keep some things in mind. Again, when I'm start working on my little clusters out here at the bottom part of my grid, just because I have that "oh yeah" and that's a sticker from the Simple Stories, I'm gonna have the stars coming out just to balance the top part. So I'm gonna make sure that the grids or the clusters on the left and the right of the picture and this big kind of subtitle don't come out of the little square. That's just gonna balance everything and bring the interest just to the center of the layout. And like I said, I am not one to add this many stickers, but I have quite a bit of stash to bust, and it's a great area to just literally embellish. Think of it as every single square as a little opportunity to embellish and add to the grid. And I'm trying to color block a little bit too. It's just gonna help with the design. Now remember how I trim around 3/4 of an inch from the top of the page? I'm actually gonna replace it at the bottom, and that's just gonna push the layout towards the top with this paper. And this is from the Bro & Company, Bro & Co collection from Simple Stories, and it looks like jeans. It looks like the texture and the color of jeans. So I just glue everything in place and just trim the bottom part, and that just give me an area to add my title. Now another one of the prompts is using different alphas to create your title. So I'm using the alpha. The light blue are puffy stickers from PinkFresh Studio Super Cool, and the foam ones are from the Color Vibe collection from Simple Stories, and these are the navy ones. And I just have the colors that I have in the mixed media are represented in the title. Again, just because I have that area of blue, I want to bring some kind of extend the layout a bit. So I'm bringing a few stickers and a label. The stickers are from that's from Super Cool, and the label is from Simple Stories. And then I'm gonna bring more stars. You're gonna see right now that I'm just gonna repeat the stars. Remember, one of the prompts is to repeat embellishments. The other one is to have at least 10 embellishments. And all I'm doing right now is just adding more stickers. Like I said, this one was like maximize the amount of stickers that you can add it, and I did that. After that, all I'm gonna do is add my lines to journal right underneath the picture, and then all I'm doing again is repeating more elements, and this time I'm just bringing a few enamel dots. This is just whatever's left over from the Super Cool collection, and I'm just going to bring little pops of the other colors that I have throughout the layout to each one of my little squares. Remember, I kind of color block each one of the squares, so I'm just gonna kind kind of insert a bit of the color from the other areas in the layout, and that's about it. I love how this turned out. It was fun, it was quick to put together, and it pretty much, like I said, maximizes the use of my stash. Remember, the prompts are use at least 2 collections, use a pattern paper background, use at least 5 pattern papers, at least 10 embellishments, repeat the embellishments, mix alphas for your title, make it a multiple picture layout, and you get bonus points if you make it a boy layout and if you add some mixed media. And I hope you try it. As always, I look forward to see what you create. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye bye, guys.